Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm an Airbus A330 pilot, and welcome to our next flight in the IndyBuilds Airbus A340-300. Today we're going to fly from Cape Town to Zurich, which is an 11-hour flight going all across Africa, promising us some lovely views on the way over. Now, you might be wondering that my voice sounds a little bit strange in today's video. That's because I just came home from a concert and that kinda ruined my voice. So, yeah, I suppose that's gonna get better for the landing after I had a couple hours sleep, but for the time being, you've gotta live with this. Alright, so let's go ahead and get right into this. Now, at this point, I would like to thank today's sponsor, Say Intentions AI. If you're looking for an ATC add-on that can not just do your standard IFR A to B flight, but also other things like data link, VFR, and a lot more, then check them out using the link in the pinned comment or the video description below. We'll be using them in today's video so that you can get a straight impression of how the add-on works. And with that out of the way, let's get right into the cockpit. At this point, by the way, also a huge shout out to IndyBuilds for providing me with a pre-release version of the A340 and also our scenery, Cape Town, which is, well, looking pretty good for an African airport. Alright, and with that out of the way, let's get going on this one. Now, you guys are familiar with the Airbus procedures. For this reason, I'm not going to explain everything that I'm doing over here, but rest assured, there are a couple of things that I will be talking about, and if you are wondering why I'm going over these things so quickly, if it seems like I might have seen them before, then yes, that is actually the case today, because I had to try and record this one 3 times. Because I found a recreatable WASM crash, which I have of course reported to IndyBuilds so that it gets fixed for the next version. Remember, I'm using a pre-release beta to record this. Alright, so let's go ahead and get you guys up to speed with our flight plan. We're departing Cape Town today, heading all the way across West Africa and then across the Sahara, across the Mediterranean into Switzerland. We're arriving a couple moments after sunset, so I do expect some great views on the Alps on that last part of the flight over here. Now, weather is pretty clear on the first part, then we are going into the area of the Intertropical Convergence Zone, which is moving back southbound again at this time of the year, and, well, large field, can't avoid it, can't do anything about it, except to take extra fuel. Alright, so weather is good on the rest of the flight today, and then we now know the en route weather, so let's go up to the airport weather. Starting over here with our departure from Cape Town, we've got beautiful weather conditions, nothing to worry about. Arrival into Zurich is going to be at 1800 UTC. As you can see, they do have a little bit of weather there until 1500 UTC today. Thereafter it's going to die down, just some showers of rain with southwesterly winds and few clouds. So, overall, very good conditions. Geneva is good as well, and going up in the flight plan, an on-time departure at 6:40 will mean that we are going to arrive a little bit delayed, so we might consider flying a little bit faster today, and therefore take a little bit of extra fuel as well. Our weights definitely allow that. We've got plenty of margin to both the max takeoff as well as the max landing weight. Now, going down a little bit to the fuel section, 82 tons is our minimum takeoff fuel plus taxi, so basically 82.5 is the minimum. And I would say, since additional fuel results in minimal burn today, and since the fuel doesn't seem to be too expensive, let's just pop an additional 3 tons of fuel into our tanks, leading us from 82.5 to 85.5. So, up here into the payload page, import from SimBrief, fueling, and we're going to turn that into 85,500, like that. Alright, instant load, then over to the GSX options, and request boarding down here. And with that, we are done in the EFB for now, so let's continue with our aircraft setup. Going back up to the ORED, ADS 123 on, APU fire test. Looks good, then we can start the APU, so master on and starter on, and well, that is going to take a little while, so while that's in progress, let's set our frequencies. For that we gotta go back into the EFB, charts, Cape Town search, and we want both the airfield chart as well as the aerodrome ground chart. On this one, we are gonna have the frequencies up here. I do expect the data link clearance today, so we will have 1 to 1.9 and 18.1 in our comms. So 1 to 1.9 and then 18.1. Like that, and VHF2 gets 1 to 1.5 as always. Well familiar with that procedure. Here we go. And please go active, thank you. And then we want to transmit a VHF1, listen to VHF2 and to the interphone. And lastly, we want to make sure that we don't blow our ears away, so we are going to turn the speaker down a bit. Even after getting back from a heavy metal concert, I don't want to damage my ears like completely. So APU available and APU bleed is coming on. Great, then let's continue with our technical acceptance. So status page has only stuff that is expected at this point since IRS alignment is still going on. The oxygen pressure is looking good, hydraulic pressures, or rather hydraulic quantities, are looking good. Engine oil quantity is full, and it's also a good idea to have a look at the brake temperature here, especially on those aircraft that do not have a brake fan, so that you can keep the parking brake off for a bit longer to aid with the cooling if needed. But this is going good today. Flaps up, checks with the lever, ground spot is retracted. Then let's test our brakes, and for that we need to remove the chocks here. A little bug, known thing in the airplane at the moment. Alright, and that's looking good. Now, parking brake can be set again, and chocks can be reattached. Alright, easy going. So that's our preliminary cockpit preparation. Now let's go ahead and delete those stored waypoints, thank you. And also initialize our FMS. So rest comes later. For the time being, we'll return back up to the overhead panel for the cockpit preparation procedure. You guys are well familiar with that already, so I'm not going to talk about everything that we are doing over here. What I will point out is if something is wrong, and there is one thing over here. See, when you are charging the batteries, those lines are a little bit too low. Should be like up here, so that's a little bug at the moment. Fueling is completed, so fuel pumps are all coming on. Always turn the main pumps on before the standbys. Okay, and maintenance panel checks. Up here everything's done. PA system volume can come up, and that looks good. Alright, moving down, QNH 1013 is actually the correct QNH right now. It's the 4th of September, 4th of October 25. Let's close that. Alright, and nothing over here. So, down to the weather radar, tilt +5, weather and turbulence. You are set. You can get some audio control as well. Like that. Looking good. Now, the printer gave us our flight initialization. Edelweiss 87 from Cape Town to Zurich, runway 19, Calic 3 Golf, runway 14. Looks good, let's put that away, and then we can go into the FMS preparation. So, give me my flight plan, give me that one over here, please. Looking good, and then we can clear those scratch pad messages. Alright, so let's go. Cape Town, Zurich, alternate Geneva, Edelweiss 87, Costline X30, flight level 340. We are departing from Cape Town's runway 19 with no sit. Insert, and our arrival is going to be into Zurich's runway 14, Calic 3 Golf arrival, and the Gipol 14 transition. And insert. Now, the secondary flight plan today is just going to stay copy of the active, because that's where I had the WASM crash. I created the engine out point, so that was called CPT X2. On the runway track 25 miles, I inserted that on the secondary first line, and that caused the WASM crash. For this reason, we are not going to have an engine out waypoint on today's departure, but rather what I'm going to do is in here, fact 19, then we've got the 191 radial for our departure. I'll just draw a 25-mile ring, basically marks the same thing on our MD, while easily avoiding that WASM issue. Now, I've reported it to AnyBuilds. They've been very good at fixing that kind of stuff in the past as soon as they knew how to recreate it, so I'm positive that that thing is gonna be solved soon. Alright, so let's see about our payload here. Zero fuel weight is 166 with a CG of 27.4. So 166/27.4. Fuel 85.5. Now let's get our flight plan back open. Average 12 knots headwind. Not a problem. And then we need a couple of fuel figures down here. So contingency is 2.2, alternate 3.3, and the final today 2.5. Easy going, 1,500 kilos, 19 minutes extra. Now for the performance figures, now in the real world you can't uplink them, however I am kinda lazy and oh, look at that, I actually forgot to calculate them. That's what happens when you have to record a video 3 times because of that wasn't crash. So here we go, that's the settings. Let's put that in here. A little bit of tailwind today, resulting in a toga takeoff. Flaps 2 and 260 tons of maximum takeoff weight. So send that to the FMGS, and then I am going to confirm that one down here. Alright, so climb D-rate, we'll be using D-rate 2 today, and down here we can take fact runway 19, and here we go. Optimum 320, cruising 340, maximum 349. Yeah, I'd much rather just get up there and have the level secured, because as soon as you're north of Namibia, ATC is, let's say, not that reliable in Africa, so rather be careful there. So we have GPS primary, IRS alignment is just completed, beautiful. So flight directors are coming on, we can keep the EFIS like that, initial climb, we'll see. Those sits that are available have 9,000 in there, so I'm just going to set that, and then we'll see what ATC is going to give us anyway. Talking about ATC, I suppose we can go down here, ATC COM, ATC menu, message record is erased, looking good. Then connection status, ADS should say armed, not connected yet because we're on the ground. But so far so good. Then let's go ahead and see about our clearance. So we're in A340, the ADS is Charlie, we're going from fact to Zurich, and with a slash that works a lot better. Alright, our gate is Alpha 5, the station is going to be fact, and if we don't put that into the free text but into the actual station, that works a lot better. Alright, so Edelweiss 87, the rest looks good. And that looks all good. Send that. Thank you. Alright, waiting for our clearance to arrive. In the meantime, let's go ahead and start with the departure briefing, please. And your flight director definitely comes on. So we're going out of Cape Town, runway 19, radar vector departure, initial climb to be given. MSA. Well, we are flying out to the ocean initially, but later on we're going to have a little bit higher one. Let's get that airfield chart open. So later on, when we come back, it's either going to be to the left with an MSA of 9,000 or to the right with 6,100. In any case, we will be visual today, so we will very easily be able to see and avoid anything that they might throw at us. Alright, so, apart from that, we've got, let's see, 1,400 kilos, 19 minutes extra. Alright, so no hotspots for our taxi routing. Well, actually there is one. We are crossing a runway on our taxi out, so that's that. Crossing runway 16 on our taxi to runway 19. Now for the stock margin, it's not calculated, but it will not be much at this weight. We're very close to the max takeoff weight, actually forced to use toga over here, so it's definitely not going to be much. Engine out procedure straight at 25 miles. We don't have that waypoint in the secondary, so we'll just be using heading mode to get out of there at first, and then we'll have to consider our options later on. An immediate return is definitely an option, even though we are like 50 tons above the max landing weight. But Cape Town's probably the best option in the area, especially if the airplane's on fire. Then we can just fly traffic pattern, come back straight away. And since we are planned to have a little bit of tailwind on our takeoff, we might actually just go straight ahead for a minute flight procedure turn. I do like the 260 version of it, so 80 to the left, then 260 to the right, then we end up back on the center line. And apart from that, as long as there is no immediate life-threatening situation, we are just going to pick up a holding somewhere and consider fuel dumping and generally consider our options. Okay, nothing special or non-standard threats. We already talked about the terrain, so we can see it, therefore it is no threat. And that's all I got for the briefing. Any questions? No? Lovely, so that's our briefing complete. Now, let's see what we got here. If no response within 2 minutes, request new flight in app. Okay, so what? Okay, message number 2. Cleared to Zurich, maintain 4,000 feet. That's below the MSA. Departure 119.7, squawk 6125, expect runway 19. Alright, 6125 in here, and runway 19 is confirmed. Cool, departure 119.7, I am going to tune that down here as a reminder. VHF 3 standby, that all looks good. Alright, Wilco and send. And that's sent, then we can close all this stuff. Okay, so cockpit preparation checklist please. Gearpads and covers removed, fuel quantity 85,440 kilos, balanced. Seatbelts on, ADIRS, nav, and barrel reference QNH 1013. Cockpit preparation checklist complete. Alright, cool. So let's see about our boarding. Almost done. 1 passenger left. That's good enough for me. Let's say hello to our guests. Einen wunderschönen guten Nachmittag aus dem Cockpit. Liebe Fluggäste, mein Name ist Emanuel, ich bin der Kapitän auf diesem Airbus A340, der Edelweiss, auf unserem gemeinsamen Flug nach Zürich. Flugzeit heute ca. 11 Stunden und 15 Minuten, erwarten einen ruhigen Flug in einer Reiseflughöhe von anfänglich ca. 10.000 Metern, später 11.000 Meter. Lehnen Sie sich zurück, machen Sie sich an Bord gemütlich, wir erledigen jetzt noch den letzten Papierkram und werden dann in den nächsten Minuten unterwegs sein. Vielen Dank für Ihre Aufmerksamkeit und noch einmal herzlich willkommen an Bord. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening from or a very good morning from the flight deck. This is your captain speaking. My name is Emanuel in the name of Edelweiss. Welcome aboard our Airbus A340 on our flight to Zurich. Today's flight time has been calculated at 11 hours and 15 minutes, expecting a mostly smooth flight. So for the time being, sit back, relax, and enjoy the trip with us, and we will get back to you with the latest weather on the approach to Zurich. Okay, so that's done. The APU is running anyway, then they can remove the external power unit, and you can prepare for pushback and departure release as soon as you are ready. In the meantime, down to the ground equipment, so remove chocks, remove GPU. Doors are all closed by now. Let's see that they actually loaded it, but that looks good. The live figures are fine. Takeoff weight went up 500 kilos, so let's just calculate that to be safe here. Unchanged. Alright, and just to be sure, we've accepted that one again. No flex temp is correct. Engine out acceleration should be in 1600, like this, and D2 is in here. Alright, perfect. Then that's all looking good. So let's quickly get rid of the company message up there, which is actually a little bug. Happens down here on the ATC com page when you receive a CPDLC message. Shouldn't happen like that though. Should only work for ACAS messages. And now it should be removed. Yep. Alright, good enough. Then let's talk to ground. Ground from flight deck. So, please confirm all doors and hatches are closed, ground equipment is removed, and bypass pin is installed. That's all confirmed. Okay, thank you very much. Then we are going to call for pushback clearance. Captain grounds, Edelweiss 87 heavy, request pushback and startup. So, 33.
Edelweiss 87, pushback and startup approved. Face southeast.
Pushback and startup approved, facing southeast, Edelweiss 87. So, that is a pushback, yeah, kinda to the right. I know it has to be to the right because of the runway, so that's what we'll be doing. Before start checklist. So, park and brake set, takeoff speeds and thrust, V1134, VR144, V2163, and Toga. Windows are closed, and the beacon is on before start checklist complete. Okay. Ground from flight deck, pushback approved, runway 19, and we're ready to release park and brake when you are. So, nose right please. And park and brake is released. So, starting the pushback, standing by for your signal to start the engines. And obviously the doors should be armed by now, so let's quickly do that. Toggle arm doors, thank you. Started down here, it only makes sense to push to the north, really.
Captain, the cabin is ready for departure.
Thank you. Alright, so start sequence will be 1, 2, 3, 4, and we'll start with engines 1 and 2 for now.
1 second pause. Welcome aboard Edelweiss Air.
So, engine 1 start.
Departing from Cape Town to Zurich. On behalf of the airline, the Captain Emmanuel, First Officer Stephanie, and the entire crew, we are delighted.
Waiting for 10% N2.
Now, let's go through some important safety information. Please ensure your seat is in the upright position.
Here we go, engine 2 starts.
Your seatbelt is fastened low and tight across your
Seeing the Delta Airlines A350 over here is just always special. One day we'll have to do that flight as well. Perhaps after the initial A350 hype has died down a little bit. So, pushback is completed, set brakes. Brake set, and we got 2 good starts, starting numbers 3 and 4. Clear 3, 4.
Please familiarize yourself with their locations
and here's a veil.
We kindly ask you to remain
so, starting number 3.
140 kilo contact tower on 118.1.
Additionally, if you have a power bank or any electronic device that becomes unusually warm or shows signs
definitely
of
still
damage,
runway 19 in use over there.
If any electronic device falls between
10%.
let us know so we can retrieve it safely. Thank you for your attention and wish you a pleasant flight.
By the way, that one last part of the briefing over here was probably one of the most important that you can actually do on any aircraft nowadays. If your mobile device falls into the seat, don't retrieve it yourself. Tell the cabin crew they can disassemble the seat, they're trained to do that, and then they can retrieve the device. The problem is, especially with those premium economy and business class seats, that when you lose your device in the seat, and then you start moving the seat in order to, try and find the device, the movement mechanism of the seat is so strong that it can just destroy the device, including the accumulator, and that can have deadly consequences, causing a fire. So, pay very close attention to that part of the briefing. Alright, and now we got 4 good engine starts. So, EIS 2 aircraft, you can note it has auto trim, so 26.7 is pretty much correct. Alright, lovely. After start checklist please. Anti-ice off, cam status check, pitch trim 26.7%, rudder trim neutral. After start checklist complete. And flight control check please. Full up. Full down, neutral. full left, full right, neutral, rudder. Again, very careful here. Full left, full right, and neutral. Edelweiss 87 Heavy, request taxi to runway 19.
Edelweiss 87, runway 19er taxi via Echo, Lima, hold short of runway 34, then Delta Golf.
Edelweiss 87, taxi runway 19 via Echo and Lima, hold short runway 34, thereafter Delta Golf. Okay, so straight ahead, not sure where that Delta Golf is. In any case, straight ahead, hold short 16, which is opposite of 34. So, clear left side and clear right side. Let's go. I believe we will need a little bit of thrust, as will be rather heavy. Yeah, looks good. Alright, brake check. Pressure 0. Echo and Lima. I really wonder where it got that from. Okay, Echo, Lima. They wanted us down here? And then Delta Golf? No. No. We're gonna go up here. I don't care. But then it makes sense that they said hold short 34 instead of hold short 16. But no. We aren't doing that. Alright, so we've got no changes to the takeoff briefing. Just waiting for the cabin to get ready now. And here they are. How's timing? Alright, taxi checklist. Flight controls checked, flap setting, config 2, radar and predictive wind shear on auto. Engine start selector, norm, ECA memo, takeoff, no blue, taxi checklist complete. Edelweiss 87 Heavy, request crossing runway 34.
Edelweiss 87, cross runway 34, then continue taxi via Delta Golf.
Cross runway 34 and continue Delta Golf, Edelweiss 87. Yeah, we'll just pretend ATC knows where we are. Let's see if they're still gonna give us a handoff to tower. I probably expect they will. So, all sides clear.
Edelweiss 87, contact tower on 118.1. Have a good morning.
118.1, Edelweiss 87, good morning. So, 19.7 will be next. Tower, good morning, Edelweiss 87 Heavy, ready for departure. So, right up here at the holding point.
Edelweiss 87 Heavy, Cape Town Tower, runway 19er, winds 300 at 3, cleared for takeoff.
Runway 19er, clear for takeoff, Edelweiss 87 Heavy. Cabin crew, prepare for departure. Line up checklist. Takeoff runway, 19er, full length, TCAS, TA array, packs 1 and 2, off, lineup checklist complete. So we'll take as much of that runway as we possibly can. Approach is clear, and here we go. Always amazing how
Cape Town Tower,
steep
Safari
turns you
301
can
established
do.
on the RNAV, seat runway 19er.
Safari 301.
Okay, and here we are. Ready? Take off. Mantoga, SRS, runway, auto thrust blue. Thrust set. Knots, checked.
D1.
Rotate. Positive climb. Gear up. Nav, checked. And pull heading. Heading. This should arm open climb instead of climb. But let's see if the correct mode is actually going to engage.
Edelweiss 87, contact departure.
Contacting departure Edelweiss 87. Come on, where's my flex detent? Here it is. Climb detent, I mean. So, thrust declimb to open climb heading. Cape Town departure, good morning, Edelweiss 87 heavy on the runway heading.
Edelweiss 87 heavy, Cape Town departure, radar contact. Climb flight level 140, turn left heading 025, vectors to Cody's, then as filed.
Climb flight level 140 left heading 025, vectors to Cody's. Edelweiss 87. That was a bit far. So, heading 025, climb maintain 14,000. Here we go. And flaps 1. Speed checked. Flaps 1. Yeah, you're gonna get your pack. Here you go. Lovely views. Hey, flaps 0. Speed checked. Flaps 0. Acceleration flow pattern. So, flaps up, spoilers retracted, landing gear up, and packs on. And you can give me selected speed up here at the green dot, please. Make it 260. So, all the terrain is inside, therefore it's not going to be a problem. And therefore we also don't need the terrain display down here. Very heavy aircraft, exceeding 250 knots below 10,000, but just by 10 knots, so I'm not too bothered with this. If there was someone ahead of us on a sit, it might be a different topic, but over here, easy going, very easy going. Okay. Autopilot 1. So, last look at the airport, and the terrain over there, and the terrain over here. I mean, Cape Town's just beautiful. Well, and then we are up on the way. So let's ask the most important question estimated time of arrival. Speed limit exceeded is checked. So, 1803. What's the schedule again? And that's with the entire approach transition in there. Awesome.
Cape Town approach, link 329er Echo, flight level 100.
Alright, lovely.
Link 329er Echo, radar contact.
Yeah, that's a pretty nice vector. Pretty nice vector indeed. Airbus 87, shall we proceed direct coders?
Airbus 87, affirmative, proceed direct Codes.
Thank you, proceeding direct Codes, Airbus 87. Okay, Codes and direct 2, here we go. Look at that, the plane is barely responding. That was a very good vector indeed.
Airbus 87, roger, proceeding direct Codes, maintain flight level 140.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Link 329er Echo,
So,
contact Cape Town
climb
Tower on 118.1. 118.1 for link 329er
And for those of you
Echo.
who said that the airplane's not climbing too well, I hope this is convincing for you. Alright, so that's done that. So the cross-check passing flight level 80. Now, check. So, optimal is still 320. Let's update the winds. And let's also make sure that the step arms are actually inserted, which they are not right now. So that's going to be level 360 at upping. And then flight level 380 at Hella. Like this. Alright, any change in the predictions? Not really. Extra fuel is now 1 hour. Perfect. Now, just to be on the safe side that we're there on time, let's increase the power standard slightly, CI 80. See what that does to our predictions. 110. Lovely. Absolutely lovely. So that was pretty easy. And we're reaching 10,000, and we're above 10,000. Speed is managed. So landing lights off, seatbelt signs off, airports, of which there will not be many. And then clear copy please. Alright, well as we've discussed it, easy going. Well then my friends, I would say that we are nicely in the air, so for the time being, just sit back, relax and enjoy the flight with us. And we'll get back to you as soon as we start our descent and approach into Zurich.
요즘 따라 네 생각은 잘 안 나. 우리 헤어지고 나서 feeling better than ever. 대체 무슨 사이였는지 이제 기억도 안 나. Every bit of love is gone. possibilities, living in past fantasies. Damn, I got the eagle eye, couldn't help but notice. Really caught me by surprise, you look different. Not like any other time, girl, I really can't help you. No, we really can't rewind. What's done is done, that's the hydro. Lately, I've been working on myself, girl. Working on myself, girl. Yeah, I'm trying to get back to good health, girl. Got to get back to one day I saw you by chance. Felt how long it's been. Now here I am again, falling for the second time. Don't say another word to me. Don't try to get me to believe every little thing you say. But don't wanna hear that you've changed. Don't try to tell me you've got faith. Every little thing you say. But 무대 조명보다 밝은 너의 눈빛, 어디서든 보여 우리가 만든 history. But I don't wanna fall again. Girl, you gotta understand that you and I were way past friends. Don't say another word to me. Don't try to get me to believe every little thing you say. Every little thing. Don't say another word to me. Don't try to get me to believe every little thing you say. Don't wanna hear that you've changed. Don't try to tell me you've got faith. Every little thing you say. Every little thing you say. Every little thing you say hurts. Every little thing. Ooh, ooh. Don't say another word to me. Don't try to get me to believe every little thing you say. But don't wanna hear that you've changed. Don't try to tell me you've got faith. Every little thing you say hurts.
Well, and with that we are now getting close to Zurich, and we've got a pretty interesting arrival ahead of us.
Swiss radar, Scandinavian 687, flight level
So
330.
we are currently following the Caleb 3 Golf arrival while approaching the ILS for runway 34 into Zurich. Now, what's special here is that we can't simply fly straight in, because basically we are arriving straight in, but we can't simply fly that for the simple fact that there is a little bit of terrain in the area. So let's go ahead and have a look at how these charts and how this terrain actually looks like. So we are starting right over here. Caleb 3 Golf, this is where we are right now, just past Moset. And the arrival basically takes us over the field and then to G-Pole, and then from there we would get radar vectors back into Zurich. However, the problem is that you can see there is quite a bit of red on our weather radar here, so we can't really accept anything outside of this standard routing. And obviously I don't want to fly like all the way, so we're most likely just going to get vectors like this somehow. So that sounds like an interesting one. Let's see what's actually going to happen with it and how ATC is going to handle this one, as it is certainly one of those little bit more special arrivals. In the meantime, let's see if we can already get a descent to flight level 100. Edelweiss 87, request descent to flight level 100.
Edelweiss 87, descend flight level 100.
Descending flight level 100, Edelweiss 87. Okay, thrust idle, open descent, alt, flight level 100 loop. Okay, so far so good. So let's go ahead and have a look. First of all, we'll start with the weather, and that one is a little bit interesting. So 290 at 19, slightly variable in 5,000 meters visibility, light showers of rain, scattered clouds, 13 degrees 1008, tempo 3,000 meters in showers of rain. So you can see that the bad weather that was forecast.
Contact Zurich, final approach on 125.33.
125.33, Edelweiss 87. So you can see that the weather that was forecast hasn't quite completely cleared yet, so let's see about it. And let's see if this one's going to be an interesting landing or not. Zurich approach, Edelweiss 87 heavy, level 130, descending level 100.
Edelweiss 87, Bremen radar identified. Good evening.
Actually, I think we're on the wrong frequency. Should have been 12533, and I've got no idea why ATC didn't pick up on that. Zurich approach, Edelweiss 87 heavy.
Edelweiss 87, Bremen radar. Contact Swiss radar on 133.405.
What? Edelweiss 87, request the ILS runway 34.
Edelweiss 87, ILS approach is only available for runway 14. Runway 14 is active for landing.
290 at 19. Variable up to 320. That's a straight tailwind of 19 knots. I think this is the point where I will just close say intentions and where we are going to vector ourselves in for runway 34. Yep, AI. Still not perfect. So down to 5,000, and then we'll do what they regularly do here in the real world as well, which is going to be basically a vector back into the downwind, and then we can descend all the way for our approach. That's how they do this in the real world as well. I did look it up on Flight Radar. So lights on, signs on, EFIS control panel is set, GPS primary accuracy high, and engine start selector norm. Looks good. Then set QNH please. 1008. QNH 1008, cross check passing 9,400 now. Okay, so let's start the next left turn already, downwind 140. Like this, because there is a little bit of red here on the weather radar that we gotta be a bit careful with. So looking at the ILS chart for runway 34, MSA in this area is 4.5, later 5.7, so let's maintain 6,000 for the time being. And that's 6,000 blue. I think we can take a little bit more of a base here. Let's make it 170. .52 knots a crosswind here. Will be a little bit of turbulence coming up when we're getting close to the ground and all the hills and the Alps in the area over here. That's going to make things interesting. In the meantime though, approach checklists. Which actually means I'm going to get my EFB. Which is, you know, somewhere. Okay, so bubble ref, QNH 1008, seatbelts on, minimum baro 1590, auto brake low, engine start selector on. And that's the approach checklist complete. 1,000 to go. Now this looks interesting. That red thing here is probably going to get pretty close to the approach. So we got to be a little bit careful here. Let's already start reducing our speed. 220, please. Here we go. Activate approach phase. And then let's extend the center line on Milne. 332, so the opposite is 132. Like that. Alright. No, 132. That should be the correct. No, it shouldn't. That's 20 degrees off. That's 152. Okay, it's been a long flight, guys. It's been a long flight. That looks better, doesn't it? No nav intercept is checked. And heading. Oh yeah, this is gonna be interesting with the weather. So you keep it on the larger range, I'll take the smaller one. And we gotta start our left turn already. Speed alt star. Temperature is 12 degrees, engine RTS off. Alt. So, loads of tailwind here. Let's go a little bit further left, like 090, to avoid that bit of red over here. A minimum vectoring chart would be nice now. Do we have one? MRC, yes. Okay, so it's 5,000 in this area. If we make a left turn now, so let's do that left turn. Heading 060 and descend 5,000. Thrust idle open descent, alt 5,000 blue. Flaps 1. Speed checked, flaps 1, and speed is coming back towards like 180. Alright, with that tailwind, let's make our final turn here. Runway 34, so intercept heading 010 should be good. And I think we can just manage the speed at this point. Cat dual, autopilot 1 and 2, lock star, glide slope blue. Oh yeah, we have kind of underestimated the wind here. Might be a little overshoot, but that's gonna be fine. As long as we're not drifting into the red. So yeah, it's fine. Speed out star. So, good chunk of wind coming there. Like 10 degrees of drift angle here.
$2,500.
Checked. That's the mountains that we're flying over. Glass lob star. And Goron altitude, initially 5,000 is set. Flat slope, localizer. Alright, let's see if the speed keeps stable or if we need to help it with the landing gear. But I think for the time being it's looking quite good, so let's just keep going like that. No, it's accelerating. Get down. That's the A340 for you guys. It needs that. Okay, so weather in the mist approach area. It's actually not too shabby.
2,000.
It's about alright. flaps 2. Speed checked, flaps 2. Flaps 3. Speed checked, flaps 3. Look at where the rain is coming from. Even though that's probably a bug that it's crossing left to right, because it, you know, should always come from the front. Alright, flaps full. Speed checked, flaps full. Landing checklist, econ memo, landing no blue, landing checklist complete. Yeah, this direction is looking better, even though it should still be from the very front, because we are flying through the same air that the rain is falling through. Okay, so I think today I am actually gonna use the wide bus. You guys know that I normally don't like using them too much, especially in a flight sim, but we can see that on the radar that the rain is gonna last all the way down to the runway. Checked. So tell me something, guys. 1000 on the red alt, 3.9 miles, and it says 2700 on the altimeter. That reading correct? I'll let you guys put the answer into the comments below. But we're now 3 miles out, 1000 feet above the minimum, so that seems roughly correct. Okay, so let's turn off the autopilot and do the rest ourselves. You can feel the turbulence, guys. Land.
100 above.
Actually gotta do a little bit of work here.
Caution! Taxiway!
Nope.
Caution! Taxiway!
Minimum.
Definitely not a taxiway. Continue.
$100. 50, 40, 30, 20 time. 10.
Oop, just put it down in weather like that. Spoilers, reverse, green, decel. Manual brakes. Okay, welcome to Zurich. That was a fun one. Definitely didn't expect that much weather. Forecast should have had us all clear, but I'm not gonna complain. So, let's get out that runway. And here we are. I tell you what, I'll put a little bit of dome light on over here. Otherwise it just looks strange on the ground to me. So, left side is clear, right side is clear, and we'll be heading off to the right hand side. Come on, get going. After landing checklist, radar and predictive wind shear off. After landing checklist complete. Something that I really like is the inertia of wide-body aircraft like this. So you could see how there was definitely some turbulence acting on the aircraft, but you could also see how that, you know, didn't have too much of an effect. Like in an A320 we would have been hard at work. In the A340, yeah, we acknowledge the existence of turbulence like that. Okay, so we're parking on Echo 43, I believe. Let's get GSX to that stand. So, Echo 43, no follow me needed. Handling by ePort. Start APU. Again, the overhead should be brighter than this. I did tell AnyBuilds, but to this point they haven't done it yet. But then again, I am recording this one with a pre-release version of the aircraft, so perhaps they're still fixing it for the initial release, perhaps they're fixing it a bit later, but as long as they're fixing it, that's fine with me. Alright then. So, Echo 53 over here, that means a little bit further. 43 is over here. Well, it's got to be the one where the ground crew is. Without AI traffic. What? Why are they opening one right? Well, let's stop here for a second. Now, I've seen the airplane do this shortly after you activated GSX. So, go figure what the likely cause of the problem is. Now, let's actually go ahead and figure if we see a whole different problem now. Yep, they shot the slide. Welcome to Zurich. I see a cabin crew getting fired here. Congratulations. Let's reset that. Maintenance. We'll probably have to close that door first. Equipment. Close. Why did they disarm 3 left? That's what you get when you're hiring seasonal cabin crew. That damn thing closing now? Is GSX just insisting on reopening it? Here we go, now it's closed. Okay, and then maintenance, reset emergency slides. No further comment on that. So, brake is released, stem is right there up front. At this point, let's just get into it and go home. Gonna be a couple of minutes of paperwork anyway now. So, very hard to see the center line. I think we've got it now. Hello, will you please turn? So, lights off. More. Okay, A340 on the guidance system up there. Once the guidance can decide where we are supposed to be on the center line, let's go there and stay there. And stop. Here we are. Why is there a marshaller together with a guidance system? Not supposed to be that way. Okay, parking brake set, APU bleed on. So, waiting for APU bleed to replace APU avail. Like now. And 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Cabin crew, all doors in park. And that's what we got. Good. Parking checklist, please. Parking brake or trucks, brake set, engines off, and fuel pumps off. Parking checklist complete. Alright, welcome back to Zurich. I do hope you guys have enjoyed this flight. Couple of hiccups here and there, but yeah, that stuff happens. Let's go ahead and review our fuel figures here. We used 75.6 and we were supposed to use 74.6, so we used 1,000 more. That's fine. I did the step climb to flight level 360 rather late, never stepped to level 380, so that was absolutely okay to have that little bit more fuel usage. So if we look down here, we can see if we fly the entire flight 2,000 feet below the plan, which is kind of what we did, we're supposed to use an additional 1,163 kilos, which is exactly what we did. So overall our fuel usage is quite spot on. Okay, and with that, welcome to Zurich. Let's already go ahead and shut this down as far as we can. Obviously gonna leave the emergency lights on until the passengers have all disembarked. So that stuff goes off, and that's it. So guys, thank you very much for flying along. I hope you had a nice flight. Welcome to Zurich, and well, good luck getting home in these kind of weather conditions. But for now, thank you very much for watching. As always, be sure to like, comment and subscribe. And if you really like what I'm doing on this channel, I would appreciate a small donation through the Buy Me a Coffee link in the video description below. Thank you very much, and I'm looking forward to see you all again on the next one.